What's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Josh and today we're going to be talking about Reality. This is a Max original, formerly HBO Max. I'm still not used to that. It just feels weird saying it without the HBO part. But this is a biographical drama of sorts directed by Tina Satter. I believe that she organized a play by the same name telling the same exact story. And this is sort of the translation of that onto the small screen. I really don't like to cover streaming originals that much because that kind of defeats part of the fun of watching a movie to me, is being able to go to the theater and have the theater experience. But when something smaller and more interesting and something that piques my interest comes out like this, I like to talk about it. As I said before, this is almost a direct translation of a true story. Sydney Sweeney plays Reality Winner, who at the time of this film starting is a former Air Force veteran and NSA linguist. As the story plays out, it's essentially a direct reenactment of the transcripts from her interrogation regarding a classified document that she leaked to The Intercept and sentenced to 5 years for. Admittedly, I went into this knowing very little about the story, and in retrospect I'm kind of glad that I did, because if I had read the FBI transcripts and known how everything played out, I think I would have been a little bit less engaged in the film. But yeah, this is a really solid example of how to make the most of a very small scale story that is set almost entirely in one location. Much of the runtime consists simply of Reality having conversation with these two FBI agents played by Josh Hamilton and Marshawn Davis. It's barely even 80 minutes long, which is just really refreshing. It's nice to sit down and watch something that doesn't overstay its welcome and knows exactly what it's trying to convey, and it does so in a very timely manner. There are two things in this movie that really worked supremely well for me, the first of which are the performances. Sydney Sweeney is really great. We'll talk more about her performance in a little bit, but I also really like Hamilton and Davis too. I feel that both are really underrated actors that pop up here and there in smaller projects, and they're really good in this as well. The other thing that works really great in here is the buildup of tension, because as it starts off, you know she's probably in some sort of hot water, but it starts out with just these three characters engaging in some small talk. It's pretty light, and as it goes along, you know that things are probably going to start getting a little bit more dire for Reality as they sort of reveal what they're actually here regarding. And if you've read or watched anything about the true story behind Reality Winner and this entire case, you probably know the general what and how of the situation, but this movie does a great job of sort of expressing the why, and also why, in many people's eyes, she was totally justified in what she did. When we hear the word whistleblower, I think there's often a negative connotation to it, and sometimes rightfully so, but in this case, we're talking about evidence that Russia, at the very least, attempted an attack on the 2016 presidential election. And she claims that she leaked this solely out of desire for transparency. The film makes it really clear that she had big career plans moving forward, yet she went forward with this leak anyways, and I really like the way they tied that all together. Granted, again, it's not like they could really make this film without conveying that information, because again, this is a direct translation of the FBI transcript, so they couldn't really create their own dialogue, and I don't think they did at all, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And I don't want to make this review super long because the film keeps it short and sweet, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet as well. And I will say, this isn't a film that's going to absolutely rivet you from start to finish, but it just really helps to contextualize everything in this story, and I'm glad I watched it as opposed to just reading like a lengthy news article about the situation, because I feel like I would have gotten less understanding of Reality Winner as the person. I know I've already said her name like 10 times now, but man, what a bizarre name. Anyways, that's completely besides the point. And really, if you dig deep enough, you could probably find a double meaning for the title beyond it just being the name of a real person. But yeah, great performances, great tension, takes place in one small confined location, yet it's able to hold your interest through the entire runtime, doesn't overstay its welcome. Those are all great traits of a modern film for me. And I did say that I wanted to touch a little bit more on Sydney Sweeney's performance, so what I'm really referencing here is her ability to sort of portray that inner fear that you can tell she's feeling throughout basically this entire movie, but also her attempts to deflect these accusations as calmly as possible to not let on. Whereas normally I would say it can feel a little bit constraining for a film to be forced to abide by the real dialogue because they aren't writing their own stuff here. I would say in the case of Reality, it actually really benefits these actors and allows them to deliver performances that feel more authentic, because this is what these people were actually saying. So as a whole, guys, if you have any interest in this story as a whole, even if you know some of the details, you might still get something out of this. If anything, it really made me want to go research the story more and learn more about it. and I'd say that's mission accomplished. So I'm gonna give this a 3.5 out of 5. It didn't blow my socks off, but I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that I watched it, and I really appreciate that it was only an hour and 20 minutes. So those are my thoughts on Reality. Be sure to drop down into the comments and let me know what you think of the movie. As always, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more reviews like this, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.